Good morning, dear children. How are you all? I hope you all are fit and fine. Let's study today the very interesting topic from your literature book, and that is the kabuliwallah. First of all, let us know something about the author. Author Rabindranath Tagore, the very famous name in Indian literature. Rabindranath Tagore was a famous novelist, playwright, songwriter, poet, and an educator. He was the first non European and Indian to win the Nobel Prize in Literature for his work Gitanjali in 1913. The national anthem for India and Bangladesh were written by him only. Okay, let's start the story now. The story opens with the narrator talking about the 5 years old daughter Minnie, who learned how to talk within a year of being born and practically had not stopped talking since. Her mother often tells her to be quiet, but her father prefers to let her talk, so she talks to him often. One day, while the narrator is writing, Minnie starts crying out, Kabuliwala, Kabuliwala. The man she's shouting about is an Afghan in baggy clothes, walking along selling grapes and nuts. Minnie fears him, convinced that she has children the size of herself stashed in his bag. But a few days later, our narrator finds the Kabuliwala sitting with Minnie, paying close attention as she talks and talks. He has given her some grapes and pistachios. So the narrator gives the Kabuliwala half a rupee. Later, Minnie's mother finds her with the half rupee and asks where she got it and is displeased to hear she took money from the man. Now, Minnie and Kabuliwala develop a close relationship, spending time together every day, joking around and talking. The narrator enjoys talking to the Kabuliwala too, asking him about his home country of Afghanistan and all about his travels. But Minnie's mother is alarmed by her daughter's closeness with the man, worrying that he might try to abduct Minnie. The narrator does not agree that there is any danger. Every year in the middle of the month of Magh, the Kabuliwala returns home. Before making the trip, he goes around collecting money he owned. But this year, the Kabuliwala gets in a scuffle with a man who owes him money and ends up stabbing him. This lands him in jail for the next several years, during which Minnie grows up and starts enjoying the company of girls her age. The narrator more or less forgets about the Kabuliwala. But on the day of Minnie's wedding, the Kabuliwala appears at the narrator's house without a bag or his long hair. He is barely recognizable to the narrator, but he eventually welcomes him in. The narrator is uneasy, thinking about how the Kabuliwala is the only would be murderer he is ever known and tells the visitor to leave. He complies. But shortly after, the Kabuliwala returns bringing a gift of grapes and pistachios for Minnie. The narrator does not tell him that it's her wedding today, but simply repeats that there is an engagement at their house and he must go. But the Kabuliwala pulls a small piece of paper out of his coat pocket and shows it to the narrator. It's a handprint in ash, and he explains that he has a daughter back home in Afghanistan and that Minnie helps him deal with the heartache of being so far from her. The narrator is touched and gets Minnie. Minnie and the kabuliwallah have an awkward exchange during which the man realizes that Minnie has grown up and therefore so has his own daughter. Like with Minnie, he will have to reacquaint himself with his daughter. The narrator gives the Kabuliwala money so that he can return home to Afghanistan to see his daughter, meaning that Minnie's wedding will lose some of the theatrics such as electric lights and a brass band, but the wedding will be lit by a kinder, more gracious light. So I hope students you must have enjoyed this emotional story and especially the emotional climax. That's all in today's session. Meet you soon. Goodbye for now.